What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys a video. Today we're doing What the Movies with Canon, episode 1. So without further ado, let's just get into today's video. In this timeline, the movies will all be canon. Well, the Z movies anyway. I don't care about the Dragon Ball villains, and neither do you. First, I need to make some rules though. I cannot do a movie out of order, so for example, I couldn't do the Broly movie before the Cooler movie. Also, they don't have to go like in canon, as if they change stuff in canon prior, it'll affect it. Now, let's get into the what if. We'll start with Goku Jr. obviously, since he's the first movie. Just like in his movie, 3 henchmen attack Piccolo, and he kidnapped Gohan and all that good stuff. Well, that stuff happens though, somewhere else on the planet, a spaceport lands and an unfortunate farmer is minced by his own bullet, by a powerful Saiyan. Raditz turns on his scouter to find Goku, where his scouter picks up on numerous power levels all bunched together, and flies there to go and find his brother. To give the henchmen power levels, we can look at one of the pamphlets that documents their power levels at 350, which doesn't really make sense, but we'll go with it for the story. Raditz rocks up to Goku Jr.'s castle and spots Nikki outside. With his scouter on, he remarks over a power level like that, he probably killed Kakarot years ago. Annoyed at this weird man in his presence, he demands that he won't give him the chance to leave, that Raditz merely laughs at. As Raditz raises up his hand to blast Nikki, he sees behind him Gohan jumping across rooftops. When he's spotting the tail, Raditz becomes confused, questioning if that is a Saiyan. He asks who the kid is, and Nikki states that his son Goku's, so he shouldn't hurt him or Goku will come after him instead. This presents more questions than answers. Just then, Goku and Kami would both rock up to the scene, which Raditz would detect on his scouter. He grabs Gohan and would fly over to the power level his scouter senses, where he spots his brother. He gives his typical monologue about Goku being from the proud Saiyan race, and tells him that he should join him. Goku would tell him no, so Raditz remarks he could always take his nephew. This enrages Goku as he rushes at Raditz, who elbows him through the floor. Goku Jr. asks Raditz if he wants to be one of his men so bad, he could just ask, which Raditz scoffs at. Why would he want to work for such a weakling? He begins to leave, but gets a new Oibo hitting him in the groin, and he turns to see Goku. He throws Gohan to the ground and rushes towards his little brother to kill him, enraged. He begins to fight Goku, deciding not to hold back as he beats him around. All of Goku Jr.'s men had heard Raditz's disrespect at the master, and as well as Goku being battle damaged, they decide to jump in and attack them. Raditz merely raises up his hand and vaporizes them. As Raditz and Goku fight, Piccolo rocks up, as does Krillin. They watch as Goku begins to get manhandled, and begin to strategize a way to beat him. Piccolo attempts to charge a Makan Kosapo as Krillin jumps down from nowhere, grabbing Raditz's tail in the process. Goku thanks his best friend for his help as he gets up. Raditz begins to beg for his life, telling him that he'll leave, which Goku begins to believe. Both Krillin and Piccolo don't believe this though, so they keep Raditz held down as the beam begins to charge. As Piccolo's beam begins to get prepared, the castle shakes harder and more intensely, till it explodes in a blast, slinging everyone away in the beam. They all look to see transformed Goku Jr. stood there enraged. Raditz thanks him for freeing him, telling him that just for once he'll join force with him. He's having none of it though, as he punches Raditz clean in the face, telling him that the deal is off. He'll just die here like the rest of them. Goku Jr. and Raditz begin to fight, with Raditz obviously having the advantage, but due to Goku Jr.'s immortality, it means they go blow for blow. While they fight, Kami goes over to the others, asking what the plan is. Piccolo brings out the Makan Kosapo, but the time it takes to charge may be too useless for an actual good attack. They could use a Mothra, but it may backfire, just like at the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. As they battle, Goku Jr. shouts that he'll open up the dead zone and send Raditz to an eternity of pain. He raises his hands and begins to open the portal, creating the dead zone that begins to suck everything in a vortex of torture. Raditz and Goku Jr. continue fighting while the others begin to get sucked into their shock. Gohan begins to get enraged at this, and so he charges at Raditz, headbutting him in the gut, which shoots Raditz into Goku Jr., sending them tumbling, wherein they land in the dead zone, and it quickly closes, sealing the duo away, as Gohan passes out. Everyone begins to celebrate the victory, except for Piccolo, who remains his usual skeptical self. As he stands on the sidelines with his arms crossed, his ears begin to pick up on a slight noise. He turns towards some rubble that he knocks away to see the scouter that was on Raditz's face. He places it on and listens as the people over the phone call Raditz useless and weak. Maybe they should go clean up the rest of the useless earthlings. Piccolo shouts on the microphone that they are welcome to try, but if they come to Earth they will be killed. He then throws the scouter on the ground and destroys it. Kami, having overheard everything, reports this news to Goku and Krillin, making them ponder what's to come. He tells them to go gather the Z-Fighters and meet him on the lookout when they're ready, which they agree to, leaving. Goku returns home with Gohan, where they tell Chi-Chi what happened. Goku then explains about how he's going to train on the lookout to fight the Saiyans. As he goes to leave, Chi-Chi stops him. She was too weak to protect the family before, so she wants to train with them. This might seem random, but in the movie universe, it appears like Chi-Chi is more of a fighter than in the original timeline. She attempts to fight in the Dead Zone against Goku Jr.'s henchmen, and in the Lord Sug movie she fights against some of the weaker henchmen. And even Gohan has been training in movie 10, so I'm going to say that Chi-Chi becomes a Z fighter once more. Gohan also requests to come, and she reluctantly agrees, as she wants him to study, and the three all go to a lookout. Kami will tell everyone that according to King Kai, the Saiyans will arrive in 1 year, so they should prepare for that. He also tells Goku that he got some special training for him. He got permission to let Goku go and train with King Kai, which Goku agrees with, and so he began running on Snake Way to make it to King Kai's. Kami would make sure to bring him food every couple of days to avoid him starving. On the lookout, Chi-Chi trains with everyone else. She'd also make sure to take breaks to make Gohan study. Whenever he gets that done, he'd be allowed to train with the others. I think Kami may even help the boys study a couple times in an interesting interaction. The training for the most part would play out normally, with King Kai giving frequent updates about how far away the Saiyans are. Chi-Chi suggests a camping trip for them all, as well as Bulma and Oolong, and they agree where a forest fire would occur like in Canon. Due to this, they suggest using Shenron to revive the forest. While Krillin and Tien argue against this, the pure-hearted nature of Gohan becomes infectious, as they are forced to play along as well. With the Dragon Radar, Bulma determines that someone has already gathered 6 and are on the way to the 7th. She tells Tien and Chaozu to secure the last balls, so others lead to convince the man to give them the other 6. They come across an old man named Cochin. They then try and convince him to give the Dragon Balls, but he isn't budging. Instead, he makes his hand a Gatling gun and tells him to move, or else. At this, Chi-Chi merely knocks him out and takes the Dragon Balls. She mentions how his skin felt like metal, and they learn that he's an android, so they don't feel bad turning into ash. They then revive the forest and wait out the days till the Saiyans arrive. By the time of the Saiyan Saga, the power levels will be different. Power levels on screen now. Piccolo is weaker, as in Dragon Ball, having a training partner, even if they are weaker, results in better gains. Gohan is also weaker, as none of them won't be as harsh. The rest are only getting minor boosts if they had 2 weaker training partners. Like in Canon, everyone meets up in the wasteland, as Vegeta and Nappa also arrive. The Cybermen are all born, and like in Canon, Yamcha is taken down by a kamikaze Cyberman, and Krillin kills the rest. Not much changes there. Before Nappa can attack though, the Z-Fighters all sense something sinister, and it's coming from a distance. Vegeta's skeleton begins to beat wildly, as even he doesn't know what's going on. It can't be Goku, there are numerous power levels. Vegeta asks what's happening, and the Z-Fighters accuse him of doing it. They come up with a temporary truce, and they all fly away to see what's happening. They arrive at the Tree of Might, where no one knows what's happening. All the Crusher Corps begin sizing up their opponents until they spot the tails of both Nappa and Vegeta. Amon mentions how they resemble Turles, which Vegeta recognizes as a Saiyan name. He tells him to bring this Turles out here so he can speak to his prince. Although none of them want to, Turles comes out himself, greeting both Nappa and Vegeta. Turles tells Vegeta that he didn't know he'd survived. If he has conflict with the people on this planet, he's free to carry it out as is, but he'll be taking the energy from it to fuel the Tree of Might. Vegeta demands to know what that is, and Turles explains, which piques Vegeta's interest. They decide to create a temporary alliance to work together in exchange for Vegeta getting some fruit and Turles getting the rest. The Crusher Corp and Nappa all rush at the Z-Fighters and begin to demolish them. Their power levels are way above Nappa's, so they begin taking down heaps after heap of Z-Fighters. Chaozu still tries to self-destruct, and Tien still goes down using a Shinkiku Ho, but again the attack doesn't work and he dies in vain. Nappa then goes for the Bomber DX to take out Gohan, but Chi-Chi jumps in the way and takes the attack for her son, dying in the process. It does give Gohan a rage boost, but that really doesn't do nothing. Piccolo attempts to strategize, telling Krillin and Gohan to distract them. He begins to charge up the strongest Makanko support he can, as Gohan and Krillin become human meat shields to take the attacks. When the attacks are ready, Piccolo prepares to unleash the attack, but Amon appears right in front of him at breakneck speeds. He grabs Piccolo's arm and turns it towards him, making the Namekian hit himself with his own blast, killing him almost instantaneously. As all hope seems lost, Goku rocks up, saving both Gohan and Krillin, giving them senzu beans. With the death of his wife, Goku's rage begins to build. He doesn't turn Super Saiyan, but the rage boost temporarily brings Goku up to 12,000 instead of 8,000. He then activates the Kaioken on top of that to truly get the most damage out. He begins rushing around, killing all the henchmen as fast as possible. This even includes Nappa, as he isn't showing mercy this time. Goku is struggling against Amon as his rage slowly dwindles, but on the sidelines, Krillin decides to help out by throwing a Kienzon, slicing Amon in half, allowing Goku to vaporize him. Turles and Vegeta applaud Goku's efforts. He asks who he's fighting first, and Turles graciously offers Vegeta first blood. He thanks him as he and Goku begin to battle like Canon. Meanwhile, Turles takes the first fruit from the Tree of Might and eats it to get the boost in power from it. Both Krillin and Gohan become worried at this, and they think of a way to beat him. Goku and Vegeta still end their fight in a beam struggle, with Turles deciding to enter the fight and take a shot at Goku this time. I said that the Trio Might Fruit is about 5 times boost, and his only recorded power level is 19,000, so it means he currently resides at 95,000. He begins manhandling Goku, where even the Kaioken times 12 isn't enough. As he begins beating into Goku, he hears a monstrous roar as Ozaru Vegeta lands. He tells Turles to move as this isn't his fight, but Turles tells him that it's his fight now. Remember the deal? At that, Vegeta fires a massive mouth blast at Trio Might, demolishing it, while telling Turles that the deal's off. Turles rushes at Vegeta and the duo begin battling, with Turles using dirty tactics to avoid the Ozaru. Meanwhile, Goku would be rushed away from the fight by Yajirobe, where he meets up with all the others, who tell him that they need a plan. Goku raises his hands in the air, saying that he needs a little time, beginning to charge up his signature Genki Dama. With the Trio Might power quickly fading and Vegeta not budging, Turles is only left with one option. He creates a blood swivel mirror and throws it in the air, becoming Ozaru. With him having to create, he's still weaker than Vegeta, though not by any noticeable amount, as the two colossal beasts begin to clash. Gohan also looks up at the fake moon and begins to transform, though everyone is there and handles it quick enough to stop him. Vegeta grabs Turles by the throat and slams him against the ground. He then rips his tail out, laughing maniacally as the same begins to shrink. Goku tells Krillin to act now, which he nods at, throwing a Kienzan at Vegeta's tail. With him being off guard, it works, and so Vegeta reverts back to the base, as well as Turles. Well, they both become small enough, Goku throws his Genki Dama, which creates an explosion, impacting both Saiyans in a blue light that sends gusts of wind towards everyone. When the light clears, Turles is unconscious and badly damaged as Vegeta stands over him, who is also badly damaged, although now his sights are set on Z fighters instead of Turles. Goku rushes over and begins to fight Vegeta in a battle damaged state, where they both cause even more damage to each other. It leaves them both even worse aware, barely able to move. Vegeta then calls a space pod and dips out in his space pod. The question then arrives as to what to do with Turles now. And that's what I'm going to leave it here. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment on episode 2. With Turles being alive as well as Rats being in the dead zone, what do you think is going to happen in the following parts? Make sure you like and subscribe, as it lets me know that you guys like this type of content. And so yeah, bye!